So a violent brawl breaking out inside a Chipotle in D.C. It's the latest wild teen takeover to rock our nation's capital, and one familiar face is cracking down on the parents.
We're looking at the parents to make sure that they understand that they are responsible for the upheaval that is going on in this district. We will prosecute you aggressively, and we will prosecute your parents.
Okay, so what do the Democrats running to be the city's next mayor think about this, and will they cooperate?
She's going to need MPD to enforce that. Would you direct MPD to cooperate with her office on this? Just briefly, Mr. Goodweather.
No, no, no.
Mr. McDuffie.
And that's directed to Jeanine Pirro.
And Ms. Lewis George.
No.
Unbelievable. U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Judge Jeanine Pirro joins us now. Judge, it's good to see you. I'll say this. Right now, you have cooperation from the current mayor. You have cooperation from the chief. Y'all have developed a great working relationship. Whoever's the next mayor there, they've made it very clear. They're not going to cooperate.
Well, look, honestly, Lawrence, the truth is that I'm going to get what I need one way or the other. I'm not going to let some politician determine whether or not D.C. is going to be safe. Look, the citizens of the nation's capital have the right to expect that they will be safe. In fact, they have a right to demand it. And when these individuals come out and you see what's going on that screen right there, and they don't want to help in tamping that down, then I will do whatever I need to do to get charges filed. And if there's anything that is, a fundamental belief, it is that the law will be followed in the district now that President Trump has made a determination to make D.C. safe and beautiful as well. Look, parents have a fundamental responsibility to control their children. It's their children, not the government's children. And in the end, if parents do not step up and stand in the place of their children, then we're going to prosecute the parents and the children. And I can do it through truancy at schools and working with the chancellor of the schools. I can do it with the family court. I have talked to the local attorney general, who has indicated that he will work with us. I can get it through the courts. Person in need of supervision. Who are their parents if they're already a court order requiring that they follow fundamental rules from the family court? I've got a lot of opportunities to go after these parents, and no one is going to stop me from doing that. And the shame of all this is that the taxpayers end up footing the bill for the damage, for the extra police. And what we saw at Chipotle the other night is an example of what's to come. And we're not going to tolerate it. And whatever we need to do to get it done, we'll do.
So, Judge, I watched your press conference yesterday, and you were pretty clear about what you were going to do. Explain to us, because I used to work in juvenile court. I know how tough judges can be with establishing order, but what is the standard? Are we talking about the parents that are coming, that are just leaving their kids out there to be reckless? Or what happens if there's a parent that says, look, to the court or to the U.S. attorney, I need help. My child is out of control. I've tried to buckle down. I told them to be home when the street lights are on, and they're refusing to do it. Will you help those parents? How is it going to work?
Yeah. Well, look, Lawrence, I mean, you bring up a very important issue, and I've made this clear to my partners, and that is that we're not looking to hurt a parent who maybe is a single parent and they can't control what's going on. If they are fundamentally doing what they can, then I'm not going to charge them with a crime. Yeah. But if they're looking the other way, Lawrence, and they're making believe like, I don't know what my kid is doing, nonsense. You know what your kid is doing. You know where your kid is going. You know your kid is violating curfew. There's been 2 or 3 curfew violations. I'm coming for you. And then we'll figure out what the best resolution of this is, because the public should not have to tolerate that. People should not have to come to the nation's capital and worry about these digitally organized takeovers takeovers that take 10 minutes. And you've got Mayor Bowser, who's working with the D.C. Council, who I think, I don't know what they're thinking, but they can't even get together to make a decision as to whether or not they want to give the power to Chief Carroll and Mayor Bowser to set up curfews that will prevent this kind of takeover. So I've got a lot of ammunition in my belt, and at this point, I'm using everything. And no politician is going to stop me from doing my job. No politician is going to say, we're not going to work with her. There are ways, and there are many avenues for me to get to the parents. And let me just say, what happened at Chipotle the other night, I just spoke with Darren Cox, who's the head of the FBI Washington field office. I've spoken to Chief Carroll at the MPD. They are working together. They're enhancing videos. They're making sure that they are following through, and my office is helping them get subpoenas for those places that need court orders or need subpoenas to give us videos. We're going to figure this out. Make no mistake. And we're working full throttle to do that.
Well, Judge, you've been doing it for a long time. You were a judge before, 30 years as a district attorney. You know what you're doing, and we're going to be following. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Lawrence.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.